If it's costing you $3 for a bag of chips, you know that inflation is playing a role. We have the latest numbers from the Consumer Price Index and the real people who are feeling the impacts. If starting a business wasn't already a challenge, Yurio Ramirez added to that endeavor by opening one up amid seemingly never-ending rising prices of inflation.
It was a little bit stressful.
Just over a month ago, he opened up Mexology, a bar and restaurant in the heart of downtown Glendale. And in that short time frame, he estimates he's paying 20 to 30% more for beef and chicken than previously. Some menu items like certain kinds of fish are temporarily absent.
I think we've had to downsize on menu.
But while profit margins may take a hit, he says he'll hold off on passing the cost to the consumer.
If our food costs starts going up too fast or too high, we're not going to have business that comes back.
Prices for nearly everything are higher, yes, but we are seeing some encouraging signs. ABC15's data analyst Garrett Archer explains.
Jordan, today the worst of inflation is in the rearview mirror and has been since the middle of last year. But shelter, basically rent, remains high and stubborn at 6%. The price of groceries, what you pay at the grocery store, meanwhile, it has leveled out and remains at 1%. Now, while this is good economic news for our wallets, it just means that rising prices, after all, even when inflation falls, prices are still going up. So we analyzed some common purchases and compared them to the 19% price inflation that we've experienced since 2021. So anything above this dotted line here are things that have gone up higher than inflation. So things to keep your home running, your energy bills, rent and groceries are up more than inflation. Water bills and appliances are lower, especially those appliances, only up 5%. So when you go out, prices at restaurants are up more than inflation, 23%. But most other major goods and services you might buy are probably lower. Personal care items, recreation and apparel, all of these rose less than overall inflation. So for transportation and other services, you are probably paying way more for car insurance, up a massive 55% since 2021. And of course, that's well over inflation. Other major categories, however, under inflation. New and used cars, those are now under. Medical care and education services all have been rising below inflation rates. Jordan?
Garrett, speaking of those avoiding going out to dinner these days,
just put it in the back and
we helped Dan of Central Phoenix save a little of his own energy by carrying his water because he says he's spending plenty on energy costs at home.
It's still the highest it's ever been, and I don't do anything different in my day-to-day life, so the cost has gone up even though what I'm doing hasn't changed.
And for some international perspective, we ran into Fabian, an ASU robotics researcher in Tempe who moved here from Germany just over a year ago.
Yes, my rent increased a bit.
He says he pays $1,600 for a studio apartment along Tempe Town Lake and feels he could get the same thing in Germany for half the price.
It's not nice to pay that much, but it also correlates with a higher salary. So I thought maybe that's just how it works. You earn more, you spend more.
Inflation wasn't where it once was, but it hasn't gone away. Jordan Bondke, ABC 15, Arizona.